All right. So today we're going to be in block 2.2 of Agile Mind, and we're going to be in page 47 in our workbook. So make sure that you have your workbook open and turn to page 47. Oh, Laura, read for us, please, ma'am.
Anthony lives in Chicago, Illinois. His older brother attends Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. Anthony's family drove to St. Louis to visit his brother. It took them 5 hours and 10 minutes. They drove 296 miles. What was their average speed in miles per hour? Use the animation to explore this scenario.
All right. So thinking about this, what factors are going to determine how long it takes Anthony's family to make it to the trip?
The time and the miles.
That's right. The time and the miles are going to be the main factors. Okay. So, in today's lesson, our objective is going to be that we can understand and apply the relationship among factors in rate problems and using rates and proportional reasoning to solve real world problems, including consumer situations. So, based off of what Devin just said, we're going to see what happens in our scenario. So it says that it's going to take them 5 hours and 10 minutes to drive this amount of miles. So how fast do you think they were driving? Does anybody have a guess of how fast they would be driving? Because we're going to have to use that gas pedal and see if we can get it close to 5 hours and 10 minutes. Does anybody got a thought? No thoughts. All right. Well, I'm going to drive with the gas to the metal and see how long it takes us. So I'm running 80 miles an hour down the road. Let's see how long it's going to take us to get there. All right, so it took us 3 hours and 50 minutes to go 296 miles. So is that how fast they drove?
Yes.
All right, so if they drove 80 miles per hour, it took 3 hours and 50 minutes, but it says that it took them 5 hours and 10 minutes. So they couldn't have drove that fast. So what do I need to do with my speedometer?
Turn it down.
All right, how fast we want to go?
Wouldn't it be like around 60, around 60 and 70?
All right, so let's go around. There's 60, 70-ish. Let's see how long that takes. All right, so it took us 4 hours that time and 30 minutes. So are we still too fast?
Yes.
Yeah. So we got to slow it down a little bit. So let's see what happens at 55. All right, so it says it took 5 hours and 26 minutes at 55 miles an hour. So what would we need to do?
Could go down a little.
Would I go down or go up a little bit?
Down, because it says it took them 5 hours and 10 minutes, and it's 5 minutes and 20
No,
minutes.
you.
So do we need to drive faster or drive slower?
We drive faster.
All right. So I'm going to try to put it at about 57-ish.
But then wouldn't that put more time on it?
That's going to take time away. The faster we drive, all right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the faster we drive, the smaller the time's going to be. So we were at about 66 earlier, so let's try to go just a little faster and see what happens. Not 66, 56. That's pretty close. I don't think we're going to get any closer than that. What do y'all think?
Yeah, that's close.
I think that's close enough.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. Let's see what happens on page 2. So we know that we got to be somewhere between 55 and 60 miles an hour to get there, right? 60 is too fast, 55 is too slow. So somewhere between there is going to be where we got to drive. Is what they drove. So we just got to figure it out. All right, so it says we can use the table to estimate the average speed at which Anthony's family traveled. So we're going to start by converting the time. So to convert the time, you'll notice that they got 10 over 60. Well, where's 60 coming from? How'd they get a 60?
Because 5 plus 10 equals 60. And they're adding the 5 hours plus the 10 minutes.
That's a good assumption.
They got 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour.
That's what I was looking for. There's 60 minutes in an hour. And so they're taking 10 out of 60. So if we do 10 divided by 60, we'll take this calculator, 10 divided by 60, and we get this. But they rounded to the nearest hundredth. So they're rounding to this number. So to do that, they have to look at the thousandths place. And if the thousandths place is greater, if it's 5 or greater, that means that the hundredths place does what?
Goes up 1.
It goes up 1. So that means that instead of this being 16 hundredths, it's going to be 17 hundredths. All right. So that's how they got 17 hundredths for 10 minutes. All right. So we're going to take this information and we're going to use it to see if we can find our answer. So remember, we said it was somewhere between 55 and 60. So at 55, we'll see how far they could have gone. They went 284. So if we go 56, they do 289. 57 has them at 294. Let's see what 58 does. So what does that mean? If they went 299 and here they went 294, that means they had to drive somewhere between what?
57 and 58 miles per hour.
That's right. That's right. So we can't put a decimal in. So since we can't put a decimal in, let's just put some funny number. Let's say that they had a Corvette and they were doing 175 miles an hour. Oh, it won't do it. Darn. What if it'll do 100? Nope. What if it'll do 99? See how fast they could have got there if they were driving 99 miles an hour. Ooh, they could have drawn long ways. All right. So let's see how we could get our actual miles per hour. What would we have to do with the distance that they drove and the 5.17 hours? What would we? So it says that we have to do what? Read that for us, please, Miss Angel V. Where it says on an actual trip.
On an actual trip, the speed at which the car travels may vary quite a bit. You can use the quotient total number of miles, total eclipse time to find the average speed for the trip.
All right, thank you. All right, so when looking at this, what was the total number of miles? What was the total number of miles? Asia? What was the total numbers of miles that they drove? Correct. So we got to take 296 and divide it by what, Kaylee? How long did they drive for? We said 5 point what?
Oh, 5.10. Wait, 5.10 minutes or?
Well, it was
hours?
5 hours and 10 minutes, but we converted it to a decimal, and it was 5 point something in the last page. What was it, Devin?
5.17.
Correct. All right. So we're taking 296 and we're dividing it by 5.17, and then we're going to round to the nearest hundredth. So what's that going to be, Kyron? If we round this to the nearest hundredth, remember we're looking at this thousandths place right here, and if it's 5 or more, this number changes. If it's 4 or less,
200?
it stays the same. So what is our answer going to be?
So 200 or 250?
How'd you get 200?
You said round it, right? I don't know.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. All right, so this is 57.253. I want to round it to this number, all right? And you're saying 57.250, all right? That's fine. All we're going to say is 57 and 25 hundredths, or we would say 57.25 miles per hour, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? All right. Kyron had me lost for a minute, but I figured it out. All right, let's keep on
But
moving.
it's still the same thing, right?
Yes, 57.25 that's right.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes.
I should have made it more clear.
All right. Yeah, you kind of gave me the decimal part, like after the decimal instead of the whole thing, but I got you. All right. So everybody should have their answers to part 1. All right, so let's go to the next page. Page 2. Homarjane, I want you to read page 2 for us. So I think we should have questions 1 and question 2A answered. And now we're looking for 2B.
You found a unit rate of 57.25 miles per hour. To describe the average speed Anthony's family drove on the trip. Use the animation to explore some other unit rates that were involved in the trip. Anthony's family left Chicago with a full gas tank. When they got to St. Louis, they filled the tank back up. It took 8 gallons of gas to fill the tank. What was their gas mileage for the 296 miles trip? In other words, on average, how many miles per gallon did their car travel?
All right, so this is question 2A in our workbook. So looking at this, how are we going to determine how many miles per gallon their car can travel? What do we need to do, Braden? Brooklyn D, what do we need to do?
You need to divide.
That's right. We're going to divide. All right. So when we do that, what am I dividing?
Do you divide the miles by the gallons?
Correct. So we got 296 divided by our gallons, which was 8. And so how many miles per gallon do we get?
37.
37 miles per gallon. Perfect. All right, so let's check it out. So they're going to do this by splitting this up into a tape diagram, just like we used in the 6th grade. And so they got 296 miles split into 8 parts. And so when they take 296 and split it into 8 pieces of tape, that means that each piece of tape is worth how many miles? 37, correct. And so that means that our unit rate is what?
37
Miles
per gallon.
per gallon. Good. Good. So when you think of the unit rate, when you hear miles per gallon, you need to know that that's a unit rate because it's referring the number of miles that you drive to 1 gallon. All right. So let's check this out. This one, it gets a little interesting. So that was your answer to question 2A. This is the question for 2B. So, Madeline, will you read this for us, please, ma'am?
Yes, sir. You found the unit rate of 57.
0.25?
I was gonna say that, but I didn't know if I needed to
Well, you could say 57 and 25 hundredths miles, but
Okay, yeah. Okay, 57.25 miles per hour to describe the average speed Anthony's family drove on the trip. He used this animation to explore some other unit rates that were involved in the trip. The price on the gas pump was $3.26 per gallon. What did it cost to fill the car with 8 gallons of gas?
all right. So if 1 gallon of gas is $3.26, how are we going to figure out what 8 gallons of gas costs?
Multiply 3.26 by 8.
All right, so let's do that. What do we get?
I got
26.08.
That's correct. So if we said that in like dollars and change, we would say what?
$26.08.
Good job, good job, good job. I tried to tell everybody good job that said that. I had 3 of y'all. All right, y'all did great. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to take what we just did and write it in question 2B. So we did $3.26 times 8, and it equaled $26.08. And so let's look at number 4 on our pages and see how it works. So they're going to do exactly what we did, except they're taking $3.26 and adding it up 8 times. And so when they do that 8 times, that $3.26, once again, is going to give you your answer. And it will be the same answer that we just got, which was $26.08. Does anybody have a question about that? Everybody should be good on that one. That one's pretty easy. All right. Anybody have a question? If you do, don't be ashamed. It's all good. Sometimes things are confusing, or sometimes we just don't pay attention. All right, moving on. Hagen, I want you to read this one for us. You're going to read this whole page and just kind of review everything that we've done so far.
When measuring average speed,
Yeah, you're doing good. This is everything that we've done in class.
Okay. When measuring average speed, we use a unit rate, miles per hour, mph. To find this unit rate, divide the distance by the time. 296 miles over 5 hours equals 59.2 miles over 1 hour. So it'd be 59.2 miles per hour. When measuring the car's average gas mileage, we use a unit rate, miles per gallon, mpg. To find this unit rate, divide the distance by the gallons used. And that equation equals 37 mpg. When determining the cost of multiple quantities of a given unit, we use a unit price per unit to measure. To find the total cost, multiply the number of units by the unit price.
Perfect. All right, so when we do that, what did we get?
$26.08.
Correct. All right, so That is a review of everything that we just did. So this is all of your answers. And so now, well, except for this one's a little off, but the other two are good. So we're going to take this info and we're going to move on to part 4. All right, so looking at this, let's get Miss Kalia to read this for us. Kalia, will you read this, please, ma'am?
Yes, you use 3 different unit rates in the trip scenario. Now apply what you have learned to solve this puzzle about unit rates. Suppose you took a trip to the San Diego Zoo. You traveled 693 miles. The trip took you 11 hours and you used 21 gallons of gas. The total cost of the gas was $69.72. Can you use this information to complete the following unit rates for the trip?
All right, so we got to find the miles per hour, the miles per gallon, and the price per gallon. So I want you to work on your own to solve these 3 problems. And I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do this. And then we'll regroup and we'll see what we got. Let's see what happened. All right, so looking at this. Braden, did you try this? Braden,
Sir,
did you try this?
you try to do that?
Yeah, the problem.
No, sir. I know we were supposed to be doing it.
So what you been doing for the last 5 minutes? Playing video game? Huh? You're muted. You're muted.
I'm muted. I have it pulled up. I just didn't know that we were supposed to be doing it.
Man, you sitting in a gaming chair. You in the wrong room. That's what's wrong.
No, I'm up here today because my grandma's not at home.
All right. So try to stay focused on math right now. You were supposed to be doing these 3 problems, okay? I called earlier on you to get you to read. You didn't hear me tell you that either. It's all good. All
I
right.
was probably at the bathroom because I went to the bathroom.
All right. Here we go.
It's okay, Brayden. I understand. I like video games too.
All right. Let's see. What about Talia? Talia, what'd you do to find the miles per hour?
I did 63 divided by 11.
All right, 693 divided by 11. So let's do that. So we got 63. Do we agree or disagree with her? Does that sound right?
I agree.
It's right.
Yes.
Good job. All
I
right.
agree.
So everybody needs to write down how we solved that. We did 693 divided by 11. You need to write that in your book if you don't already. Akira, how do you find the miles per gallon? Ooh, you just made it. I had already started writing your name down. Woo! What are we going to do?
73.
Okay, how'd you get 73? What'd you do?
I don't know.
You just made a guess of 73? I don't even know how you had to have some way you got 73.
I didn't get it.
All right. So look,
I was confused on this problem, so I didn't.
so we got to take our miles and our gallons of gas and do something with them. What do we need to do with them? Somebody help her out. What are we going to do? Yeah, we're going to divide. We got to take 693 and divide it by the number of gallons of gas, which was
21.
21. And what do we get?
33.
33 miles per gallon. Anybody confused how we got that? Everybody should see it fairly easy. All right, moving on along. Let's see here. Let's play the lottery, see who I get. Rachel, how do you find the unit price that you pay for gas?
I did. I divided the total cost of gas by the amount of gas that we use.
Great job. All right. So what did you get when you did that?
$3.32.
You are 100% correct. So we did $69.72 divided by 21 gallons, and we get $3.32. Let's check our work, see if we got them all right. Look at there. We're a team. Good job. All right, so we all got it perfectly correct. Good job, Rachel. All right, moving on along. This is where we get into the good stuff. All right, so read this for us, please, Devin.
Speed, gas mileage, and unit price are all examples of unit rates. You can use unit rates to solve a variety of problems. Consider this problem. Suppose you need to travel 105 miles on a road with a speed limit of 70 miles per hour. If you travel at an average speed of 70 miles per hour, how long will it take you to make the trip?
700 miles is really fast.
That was an accident.
All right, so looking at this, what do you think we'd have to do to determine how long it's going to take to make the trip? Not going 700 miles an hour, but 70 miles per hour. What would we do?
Wouldn't we divide?
Yeah. What am I dividing?
70 divided by 105. Or the other way around.
I don't know. We're going to have to determine it. We'll think about it. Let's look at how we would say this as a unit rate, and then we'll determine which one we're going to have to do. All right. So the way that we say that is 70 miles per hour. We could also say 1/70th hours per mile. All right. So that's two ways we could write that as a unit rate. So we could say 70 miles per hour or 1/70th hours per mile. All right, so those are our two unit rates. And so we can use this either way. But Devin said we could either do 70 divided by 105 or 105 divided by 70. So earlier when we were working, we did the number of miles traveled divided by the speed that we drove. So should we change it or should we keep doing it the same way?
It would be 105 divided by 70.
Correct. So we're going to do 105 divided by 70, or we could say 105 times 1/70th. All right, so they did 1/70th times 105. We're going to do it the other way because it's the way that we normally work. Oh, no. I don't know what I did. There we go. All right, so we're going to take 105 and divide it by 70, and we get 1.5. So tell me this, how many minutes are in the hour?
60.
So 1.5 hours would be an hour and how many minutes?
30.
Good. What would an hour and a half be in just minutes?
90.
Yes. How'd you get that?
So 1 hour in minutes is 60, and then you add the 30 from the half hour.
Perfect. All right. So if you would have told me an hour and a half, if you would have said an hour and 30 minutes, or you said 90 minutes, would they all be right?
Correct.
Yes, they'd all be right because they're all the same thing. All right. So let's look at page 6. This is where you get to do this table. Akira, read this for us, please, ma'am.
Now that you know how to find unit rates, apply what you have learned and solve this puzzle. Suppose your family owns a hybrid car. The car can get 54 mpg when traveling at the average speed of 30 mph. You travel the speed of 45 miles, your grandparents' house. Gas at your nearest station costs $3.23. Can you use the information to complete the statements?
Thank you. All right. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I have no idea. I have not worked this all day long. So y'all are going to have to figure out how to do this. Okay? So I am anxious to hear some people working together. So at this time, y'all may work together, but I want you to kind of talk through what you think you should do. And I'll just be here to try to put you on the right track if we fall off the track. All right? So if we go the wrong direction, I'm going to turn us around in the right direction. So y'all use the next 5 minutes to see if y'all can answer these. So like you can use the chat box, or you could like talk with your mic not on mute to each other.
So, wouldn't we do like 54 divided by 30, and that would equal 1.8?
Anybody going to talk to her besides Mr. Martin? Somebody else talk.
Or would we multiply it?
Wouldn't you multiply it?
Well, let's look at what it says. It says, how many hours will it take to get to your grandparents' house? So how many miles per hour do we travel?
30.
30 miles per hour. All right. And how many miles is it to grandma's?
45.
All right. So what do y'all think we need to do? I only got like 4 people trying to participate. Come on.
Will we divide?
All right. What are we dividing, Kalia?
Will we divide 44 divided by 30?
Correct. We're going to take 45 miles and we're going to divide it by 30 miles per hour. All right.
Wouldn't that be 1.5?
I think you're right. Is that right?
That's correct.
Good job. Good job. All right. So we knocked the first one out together. Now we need to work on part B.
What did y'all say 45 divided by 30 was? 1.5. Okay.
All right, my scaredy cats, you can speak up on the math. You can do it. I know you can.
For how many gallons of gas you'll use, wouldn't you multiply $3.23 by 45? Or
What do y'all think?
I think that's correct.
I said $3.23 times 45.
yeah.
All right, so it says the car It says your car will use approximately how many gallons of gas? So it says that we can go 54 miles per gallon, but how far are we traveling?
Oh, we're traveling 45 miles.
Correct. So what do I need to do with the miles driven and the miles that we can get per gallon of gas?
Divide them.
Divide them.
All right, so tell me the order that we would divide them in.
54 divided by 45.
All right, so that would be the miles per gallon divided by the miles driven. But earlier, when we were working on the other questions, we said that we needed to take the miles driven and divide it by the miles that we get per gallon of gas. So we need to do what, Angel?
We need to divide 54 to 45.
Yes, we're trying to see how many times 54 can go into 45. So the way that we say that is the opposite of how you said it earlier. We're going to do 45 miles divided by 54 miles per gallon. So everybody needs to do 45 divided by 54.
I got 0.833333.
That's 100% correct.
Yeah.
All right, so we're
0.83.
gonna take that and we're gonna put it here. All right, and I'm gonna leave this part in the calculator because I think it might be useful in a minute. So I haven't heard from quite a few people. So y'all are more than welcome to speak up now. I haven't heard from Tamarian. Kalia's talking. Kalia, what you gonna do?
I was gonna say for how much we would spend on gas, but wouldn't we divide or multiply this $3.23 times 45?
You would multiply. I'm pretty sure.
All right, so it says you spend blank dollars on the gas for this trip. Did we buy 45 gallons of gas?
No.
No.
How many gallons of gas did we buy?
0.883.
That's correct. So we're trying to figure out the amount of money we spent on the 0.83 gallons of gas. So what would I do?
So you would multiply
$3.23 times 0.83.
Correct. Y'all got it now. And so what is that going to be?
$2.69.
Correct.
$2.69.
Correct. All right, let's check our answer. Did we get it right?
Yep.
Yeah, we did. Good deal. Is there anybody that has any questions? I hadn't heard, like this time, I don't think we heard from Kaylee or Levi or Layla or Natalia or Rachel. I did hear from Rachel. Sophia, Hamarjane, Hagen, Brooklyn, other Brooklyn. Didn't hear from Asia, Alora, Akira. It's a lot of people. All right.
Hayden tried, but
Yeah, Hagen's messed up. That's right. So give me a thumbs up if you understand it. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. You can use the thumb thing over here. See how I'm doing that? There we go. Now we're working. All right. I got like 4 people participating. Thank you, my 4 people, for participating. Good. All right. All my other people, I'm finna take your points. All right.
I don't have my $9.
All right, here we go. Man, I'm finna. I can't be giving people F's. We already got bad grades. We gotta get all the points we can get. Y'all gotta participate, even if you don't know it. At least speak up. Say hello. I don't have any idea what I'm doing. Tell me something. You can't be shy in the virtual world. You got to be able to talk up. Virtual world's where people that are shy in real life talk. So you got to talk now. If you're scared in the real world, this is where you talk. All right? That's why virtual world was created. All right, here we go. So, moving on along, this was the end of our actual classwork. And so, what we're going to do is we are going to work problems 6 through 7 for our homework. All right. But in closing to our actual class, what are some places that we've seen unit rates?
At the dollar store where you can get like 2 bags of candy for $1.
That's perfect example. Anybody else got an example?
At McDonald's, you can get 4 things for $4.
Perfect.
I got the 4 for $4 meal. I got that the other day.
Perfect. Good job. So, like when we eat food at a restaurant or we go to a store, when we go to like kind of like he was saying, like if we went to the Dollar Tree where everything's $1, no matter what you buy is going to cost $1, right? All right. So, Angel, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say that at the dollar store in Doylean, you can get a Reese's cup for 85 cents.
That works. That's a rate. That is a rate. All right. And a unit rate would be whenever we get something for $1. So is there anything that you can think of where you get like more than one thing for $1? Like somebody was telling me the other day that you can get two. That's what I was gonna say. Somebody told me the other day you can get 2 honey buns for $1. All right. So if we got the unit rate for that, we would say that 1 honey bun would cost how much?
50 cents.
50 cents.
Plus
Do you see
tax.
that? Do y'all see the difference in a unit rate? Angel?
And I was gonna say you can also get like those little bags of chips, 2 of them for $1.
Correct.
At Dollar General.
Correct. All right. So we've made some good examples. So anytime that we get something and compare it to 1, that is a unit rate. That's perfect. All right.
I don't think it's something to do with video games, but I can't.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, it's kind of tough. Something to 1. I mean, I guess whenever you like 2 versus 1.
Video games.
2 versus 1, maybe.
Yeah, but like.
Or 3 versus 1. I call that like, like used to they would call it I don't know, some kind of match, but it would basically be like you go, like you're so good, you go against 2 people, so it'd be a 2v1, or yeah. So
There's something about video games.
all right, so let's look at our question number 6. So I'm gonna pull up our activity sheets. I think I went to the wrong thing. Yeah, I went to the wrong thing. Let's go back. I went too far. All right, part 6. These should be pretty easy for us. All right, so it says find a unit rate for each situation. It says you traveled 600 miles in 11 hours. How many miles did you travel? What are we going to do?
I think we're gonna divide.
We are. Everybody's doing good now. We all figured it out. Hermione, when we divide, what am I dividing?
You're dividing 600 miles in 11 hours.
Great job, girl. You're doing good. Thank you for speaking up. All right, Angel, what would you do for B? Angel S or Angel B, either way.
342 divided by 13.
Perfect. All right, so we figured out how to get part A and part B. I'm not going to say the answers because I want y'all all to work it. All right, part C. All right, part C. Asia, read C for us. This one's going to take some thinking.
You filled your car tank with gas at the beginning of the trip. At the start of the trip, your odometer read 25,678 miles. At the end of your trip, your odometer read 26,109 miles. When you filled your tank at the end of the trip, it took 15 gallons of gas. How many miles per gallon did the car get?
All right, thank you, ma'am. So looking at this, we're going to have to pay attention to those odometers. All right. So why do we have to pay attention to that? Are we able to know how many miles that we've driven unless we do something with the odometers?
No.
That's correct. So what are we going to have to do with the odometer so that we can figure out how many miles they drove?
26,109 minus 25,678.
Good job. All right, so let's do that one together. What's 9 minus 8?
1.
What is 10 minus 7?
3.
What is 9 minus 6?
3.
3. So we get 331 miles were driven. And it says it took 15 gallons of gas. So how would we determine how many miles per gallon the car got?
331 divided by 15.
Correct. All right. So what do we notice about questions A, B, and C? What did we have to do in all three of those?
Divide.
Yeah, we divided. All right. And each time we did that, we were able to get the miles per gallon. So let's see if D changes. D, read that one for us, Devin. Can't hear you.
I was muted.
That's all good.
The total cost of 22 gallons of gas is $68.30. How many dollars per gallon of gas did you spend?
All right. So, Levi, what do you think we're going to have to do? Levi might have left. Let's see. I thought he was still here. Yeah, he's still here. Levi, I wish I had a button I could press to call y'all if y'all walk out. Layla, what do you think we're going to have to do? Ooh, I'm 2 for 2. Tamarion, what are we going to have to do?
You're gonna have to.
What we do on A through C?
Sorry, I'm back. I had to use the restroom real quick.
That's all good. What do we have to do on A through C,
I
Tamarion?
think I know the answer, then just forgot.
Hmm?
Can I?
What do you think it is?
Tell me the answer.
Sure. Or tell me this, how would we figure out how many dollars per gallon of gas they spend?
331 divided by 15.
All right, that's what we did for C, but we're talking about D.
Oh, wrong one. 6,830 divided by 22.
All right, correct, but it's $68.30 divided by 22, but you are 100% correct. So everybody needs to do $68.30 divided by 22 to get their answer for part D. And that's going to tell you how many dollars they spend per gallon of gas. All right. Anybody have a question about A through D? Everybody should see that we use the same operation for parts A through D. Isn't that right, Kalia?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me erase this off the board. Levi, read 7 for us.
Reinforce. On a trip to the Museum of Mathematics in New York City, you traveled 754 miles. The trip took you 13 hours and you used 26 gallons of gas. The total cost of the gas was $78.78. Complete the following rates for the trip.
All right. So I'm actually going to leave number 7 for you to do on your own. All right. The reason I want you to do this is because I'm going to take it up for a grade. All right. So this is kind of like an exit ticket.